Mikel Arteta reveals that an Arsenal star who was flying in pre-season now has to fight for his spot. Mesut Ozil drops bombshell advice about Arsenal's transfers. And Arteta's masterstroke turns an awkward player into a sensation at the club. Stay with me until the end of the video to check out the latest Arsenal news straight from the Emirates Stadium. But before that, if you're as passionate about Arsenal as we are, don't waste any time and subscribe to our channel right now to stay updated on everything happening with the greatest team in the Premier League. And without further ado, let's dive into today's top news. Arsenal have indeed faced several challenges early in the season, including 2 red cards within their first 7 Premier League games, and a spate of injuries to key players. Despite these setbacks, Mikel Arteta has managed to guide his team to remain unbeaten across all competitions. As Arsenal's injured players gradually return to full fitness, Arteta has shared updates on their progress. For example, key players like Oleksandr, Zinchenko, and Gabriel Martinelli, who have dealt with injuries, are making their way back. Arteta has expressed optimism about the squad's depth and their ability to cope despite the early season hurdles. Through careful squad rotation and tactical adjustments, Arteta has ensured that Arsenal continues to perform even as they navigate these difficulties. His management has been vital in keeping the team's momentum and maintaining their unbeaten run across competitions. Mikel Arteta says Gabriel Jesus needs to earn the right to play more games. There was a lot of excitement around Gabriel Jesus as the season approached. The Brazilian seemed to be in fantastic shape during preseason, and fans were eager to see him return to his best once the campaign kicked off. Unfortunately, after the first game of the season, he picked up a groin injury that sidelined him for the next 2 matches. So far, Jesus has only started 3 games across all competitions, with just one of those being in the Premier League against Southampton. Sadly, he didn't have the best performance that day, leaving fans hoping he can bounce back and show the form that made him such a vital player. Arteta was asked about the Arsenal number 9, and he claimed that Jesus' injury ruined his rhythm. He has to get that back now, and then earn the right to play more games. The Arsenal boss said, as relayed on Haters TV, he came back in great shape, probably the best condition since he has been with us. He was flying in preseason, but unfortunately, he got that injury straight away. That affected him for a few weeks. He put again a lot of work into it to come back. Now, he needs to get the rhythm. He has played a few games. He has started 3 games against Atalanta, Bolton, and Southampton. So he's there, and now he needs to earn the right to play more. He has got our full support. He's a player who can play in various positions, and he's a very important player for us. Gabriel Jesus is now in his 3rd year at Arsenal, and his time at the club has been a bit of a roller coaster. In his first few months at the Emirates, the Brazilian forward was nothing short of a superstar. However, ever since the injury he picked up during the World Cup in Qatar, he hasn't quite been the same player. Many fans and pundits have been calling for Arsenal to sign a new striker over the past few transfer windows, and 2025 could finally be the year they make that move. The only way that narrative changes is if Jesus steps up and starts consistently delivering for the Gunners from now until the end of this season. If he can't find his best form again, it's likely that this could be his final season in an Arsenal shirt. Mesut Ozil has just offered an interesting piece of transfer advice to Arsenal. Mesut Ozil believes that Arsenal-linked midfielder Arda Güler is destined to become a superstar. If Arsenal are eyeing high-profile luxury signings in the future, players like Güler could be on their radar. The Gunners showed interest in the Turkish attacking midfielder over the summer, following his standout performances for Turkey during the Euros. Now, Arsenal may have an extra reason to consider a future bid for the Real Madrid player, thanks to none other than Ozil. In a recent fan quanda, when asked if he preferred Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo, the former Arsenal playmaker chose neither. He picked Arda Güler. That's high praise coming from a player of Ozil's stature and could give Arsenal more motivation to keep tabs on the talented youngster.
Messi yoksa Ronaldo. Messi yoksa Ronaldo.
Arda Güler.
Given Arsenal's recent interest in Nico Paz, it seems like the club may be on the lookout for a new number 10, potentially as a replacement for Fabio Vieira. Mikel Arteta approved a loan move for Vieira back to FC Porto this summer, and it's becoming increasingly difficult to envision a long-term future for the Portuguese midfielder at Arsenal. Despite early promise, Vieira hasn't quite solidified his place in Arteta's squad, and with Arsenal eyeing talent like Paz, it could signal that the club is preparing for a future without him. The search for a new playmaker could be part of a broader strategy to strengthen Arsenal's creative options in the attacking midfield role, Arda Güler can follow Martin Odegaard's path to Arsenal. Some might think it's a bit of a stretch for Arsenal to land Arda Güler from Real Madrid, given his clear potential. However, Güler finds himself in a situation quite reminiscent of what Martin Odegaard experienced during his time at the Spanish club. Currently, Güler is mostly a bit part player under Carlo Ancelotti, having started just 3 out of 10 games this season. At only 19 years old, Güler has already shown he can shine at the highest levels, both for Fenerbahce and the Turkish national team. With so many established talents ahead of him at Madrid, one has to wonder how long it will be before Güler starts to feel frustrated with his lack of opportunities. If that frustration builds, Arsenal might just find an opening to make a move for this promising midfielder. Mikel Arteta's masterstroke has now helped a really awkward player flourish at Arsenal. Mikel Arteta has made some bold moves during his time at Arsenal. Taking the reins at the Emirates in December 2019, this is Arteta's first stint as a manager, and he's certainly surpassed expectations. Over the past 2 seasons, Arsenal has been in the mix for the Premier League title, and they're serious contenders once again this year. Much of this success can be attributed to Arteta and his willingness to make tough decisions. His strategic choices have played a crucial role in shaping the team into a competitive force in English football. Without his vision and courage, the current success story might not have unfolded the way it has. Glenn Murray raves about Mikel Arteta's Kai Havertz masterstroke at Arsenal. Many were taken aback when Arsenal decided to sign Kai Havertz in 2023. The German international had a lackluster stint at Chelsea, although he famously scored the winning goal in the Champions League final during his 3 years at the club. His overall performance left much to be desired. Nevertheless, Mikel Arteta was convinced that Havertz was the right fit for Arsenal, and the club's board backed him, willing to spend significant money to bring him on board. It took some time, but Arteta has successfully transformed Havertz's game at Arsenal. Now, he's emerged as one of the standout players in the Premier League, proving that sometimes a change of scenery can do wonders for a player's form and confidence. Glenn Murray, who knows a thing or two about being a forward, has delivered his verdict on Havertz, a player he thinks is really awkward, but is still flourishing. He told Premier League Productions, "Yes, I think it was a transfer shrouded in mystery to an extent. Where is he going to fit? But his unorthodox style is starting to really flourish at Arsenal. He's not a 9, he's not a 10, he's really awkward, but he crashes the box well, and he's starting to get comfortable at Arsenal now. I think he's one of those players. We don't know what he is, and his teammates didn't quite know what he was. I think it was a masterstroke from Arteta. Defenders aren't sure with him. He's an awkward player." Almost every Arsenal fan had their reservations about Havertz. When he first arrived, Arteta's vision for the player made sense. Many believed he could be a solid replacement for Granit Xhaka, but as Havertz struggled to find his footing at the Emirates, skepticism grew, and fans began to question whether Arteta had erred in bringing him on board. Now it's time for those doubters to step back, acknowledge their misjudgments, and apologize to both Arteta and Havertz. We were all wrong to doubt their potential. In hindsight, signing Havertz has proven to be a brilliant move by Arteta, and Arsenal is now reaping the benefits of that decision. His resurgence on the pitch has added a new dynamic to the team, confirming that sometimes patience pays off in football. Well folks, those were the main news for today. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated on everything happening with our beloved team, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for joining us, and until the next video.